Hey guys, Altavi Spells here, your voice manager, coming to you with another episode. And I know you saw the title and it said, Let's Get Engaged. And I'm not formally proposing to you, but I kind of am. Why? Because we know that right now, engagement is the biggest thing that is driving decisions. Let's just be honest. If someone is not engaged with your brand, your products, your services, with you as an individual, then they're really not going to buy. They're not going to keep coming back. It's, you know, building the conversation. I think that's the biggest thing. And y'all know, as the introvert, that was something that I really had to come to grips with a lot. But I'm excited about today's episode because we're going to dive into it a little deeper. So I'm excited about my guest. Hello, Lisa. How are you?
Hi. I am so glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to have you here as well. And so tell the Speakeasy audience a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to go ahead and dive into today's topic.
Sure. I am actually a full-time professional speaker. And so, back in the days before COVID, I got to go around the country and speak at association conferences, primarily on either employee engagement and retention or on gratitude strategies to boost your business and lift your life. And I've done some things with generations too. But since COVID, I've kind of pivoted my business to become more online and learning a lot. So it's been an interesting transition, to say the least.
I do have to agree. I was doing a lot online already. So for me, it wasn't as a big jump, but I know a lot of people, man, it was a big, scary jump for them when it came to moving from in person to online and now kind of being in this limbo space of where do we go from here?
Right. Nobody in their wildest dreams thought that September would be ending and we would still be in the midst of all of this. So, and I think we've also all come to the realization that we are not going back to the good old days of 2019 either. So it's everything has to move forward and in different ways than we've ever run our businesses before.
That's a great point, Lisa. And I think we really have to dive into not just the fear, like what is the fear of people moving and pivoting and transitioning, especially as a speaker. Like, we should be flexible as a speaker with everything that we go through. We should be a lot more flexible, but also, those first moments of saying, okay, can I still build that same engagement I had in a room? Can I build that online, and what that really looks like? So for you, how's that transition really been?
I've been doing a lot more online. Thankfully, I have an online TV show that I've been doing twice a month for the last 4 years. So I found myself with 96 videos that I have been repurposing. So every day I'm putting videos on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and my business Facebook page. I've done a couple LinkedIn lives. Once in a while, I'll do a Facebook Live, but people really want to connect with the person. So just looking for ways to stay connected. And yes, I still pick up the phone because there's something kind of magical about talking to a real person. So I am prospecting, for speaking leads and everything just as much or more than I was before, but I'm putting a lot more content out there now because, and it's good content. Don't put out content for the sake of putting out content. But
I had to put my hands up on that one. Like, yes, please make sure that it is content that is relevant.
Right, exactly. And looking for ways to engage with people who engage with you. I mean, if you post a video or you post an article and somebody responds to it, it is your responsibility to get back with that person and thank them for sharing, or, particularly if they actually shared your post too, because that doesn't happen all that often. So when we acknowledge it, instead of just always putting content out there with none of the reciprocity, that really can hurt us.
That makes so much sense. I know coming into the industry, when I rebranded in 2016, that was the big thing. It was just push out as much as you could, go live every single day, 3 times a day. And then you got burnt out. Like,
Right.
people think that speakers don't get burnout. No, speakers, we have burnout.
Right, exactly. Well, especially now, because it seems that you're working so hard, but because you're not in front of an audience and you're not getting that, that energetic connection that you're used to, you have to almost pretend that they're there and pretend that you're talking to people in the room, because people can feel when you're just kind of dialing it in versus when you really want to make that connection with them.
Oh my goodness, that connection makes all the difference, because
Yeah.
we forget people still buy from who they know, like, and trust. Like,
Yep.
that has not changed. It's not going to change, guys. Sorry. Video makes it easier, but it's still who they know, like, and trust is who they're going to go and sign up with.
Yeah, and I actually had a big aha this moment. Would you like to hear it?
Oh, I would
But
love to hear it.
I was going to say this weekend I did, is that I realized that I was really missing that personal interaction. And when I'm doing a Zoom webinar or Zoom training or whatever, a lot of times people are afraid to come on camera. So I'm speaking to a lot of black boxes with white names on them. And I was doing a keynote the other day for a company, so they had forced everybody to be on the camera. And even though I had slides, so I didn't necessarily see the whole 150 people that were on there, the couple people that I saw, and they were smiling and nodding and laughing at my jokes, even though they were muted, I could still see that. It made a huge difference in my energy because I was able to feel that connection. So even if you're doing a live Zoom meeting or Zoom event or something like that, talk to the meeting planner as far as making sure there are some people on camera. Maybe you can't demand that everybody's there, but as part of your agreement, I need to have at least, 10 people or 15 people on camera, because what that does is it makes your ability to connect with the audience just so much better.
I definitely have to agree. We just wrapped up a sales mastery summit. It was an international summit. And so we had women on there from all over. And our closeout, we literally had we had a young lady come on who sang for us, and she sang beautifully. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm me. I love anytime music comes on. That's it. Let's go. So I'm dancing. I'm on mute, but my camera is on, and I'm just dancing as if it was a full-on concert. Yep. And you do, and you could see that she saw that energy and she enjoyed it, because it made her bring even more energy. So that's something that's interesting as well, because as an introvert, a lot of times when I go on to an event, I'm normally the one that has my camera off. I have a picture up, but I'm normally the one.
Yeah, same. And I think we've also become a lot more human with Zoom. Back in the day at the beginning, I never got on camera unless I was perfectly coiffed and hair and makeup and everything. And now I'll come back from the gym, no makeup, hair in a ponytail. And I'm like, you know what? I just got back from the gym, deal with it. So I don't do that for my programs now. I still get all babified for that. But when it comes to, kind of that vulnerability and being okay, nobody is judging you on camera. We're all in the same boat. Maybe at the beginning, when we didn't think this was going to go on, to be able to say, oh, I can't believe she showed up like that. Can you? But now, we're seeing people's kids and pets. And I know my cat Tinkerbell makes a regular appearance in my Zoom meetings. And people like it. It's real. It's not this false, trying to be something that you're not.
Oh my goodness, that part. As a mom, and I'll Speakeasy podcast listeners, you guys have heard me talk about this. As a mom, I've been live streaming and my kids have set off the smoke alarm. And I'm just like, what you gonna do? You can't really, you can't prepare for that. So you just kind of go with the flow, and everybody gets a good giggle out of it. But you have to understand, this is life. I think that's one of the best things that we've been able to see is that this is real life for not just you, but everyone. We are all going through that same thing. Now, something else that I always ask every guest that comes on is, in this journey, have you had any blunders, any things that you look at and you go, yeah, that wasn't the best choice. I won't do that anymore.
I think when I think about everything that I've done, because I've had a speaking career for 10 years. This is what I've been doing 10 years full time. And at the beginning, particularly, you do this thing I refer to as buying hope. If I just signed up for this one more class, if I just work with this coach, if I spend $50 a month here, I spend $1,000 with this coach, or I do this, or I do that, then my business will take off. And investing in yourself, investing in coaches and marketing and all that does pay off, and I've made really good decisions with who I'm working with, but I have spent, tens of thousands of dollars investing in myself. And I know that part of it was just kind of that, if I just do this one thing. So sometimes I have to force myself to just, take some time off of learning for a while and just do it. Just act on the things that you buy, and don't allow yourself to buy the next program until you've actually implemented the one you just bought.
Lisa, I'm over here like about to do a backflip. That is one of the things that I stand on when it comes to my clients. I'm like, no, you will not waste time, energy, and money. And that means that you will not buy into every single thing that comes out. Sometimes you just got to look at what you already have. Every year in the beginning of the year, we do a purge. What do you already have that you haven't used? What classes that you can go back and watch? Because a lot of times we'll have 3 and 4 webinars all on one thing. And it's something we're not even going to use. Like, we'll have 3 and 4 webinars on Facebook ads, and you haven't done one ad.
Right.
It's like, no, that's not how this is done. And it's either that, or we get to that other extreme of analysis paralysis, and now we're procrastinating.
Yep. And we just have to act. It's just little baby steps. Challenge yourself to do one thing. Take one action from that webinar that you just attended. Take one action from that coaching session that you just had. Try something. Get feedback from people. Find that accountability partner that you could work with it, and make that person, don't let them be so nice to you because you're such a nice person. If you say you're going to do something, that person needs to say, hey, why didn't you do it? And hold you accountable for it.
That accountability is so very valuable. Oh my goodness, Lisa, this conversation can go on, but I want to make sure that people know where they can find you, and how they can connect with you, in order for them to be able to get some things in order.
Sure. Yeah, my website is lisaryanspeaks.com. I am also all over social media, so LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. You can connect with me there. If you do connect with me on LinkedIn, just kind of, give me a short note as far as you heard me on the show and would love to connect. And, but I would love to connect with people. This is what I do.
With that being said, Speakeasy podcast listeners, you know that we appreciate each and every one of you, because without the Speakeasy listeners, there is no Speakeasy podcast. And we've been doing some updates and giving you some new things coming in the mix. Why? Because we want to see you grow. Listen, that's what it's all about. That's why we have the people we have on, because you can learn from their experiences and from their message. With that being said, let us know what you got from today's episode by joining the conversation. bit.ly/World Voice Community. Join the free Facebook community so that way you can tell us how this episode resonated with you, or so we can put you in connection with Lisa if you're not able to do so. With that being said, I appreciate you guys. And until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out. See ya.